Hi everyone, and welcome to SC2 Mistakes. I'm Agamemnon, and here you get to learn from our mistakes. So this video here, let's pull up the production tab. I was really motivated to make this video here after doing the previous macro videos. And the reason for it is one of the things that I hope you remember me mentioning. Notice this? Good game, well played? Yeah, that's because I know I'm going to lose. One of the things you might remember me mentioning is that you don't want to have money in the bank, right? You want to try and keep that money relatively low, because if your money's low and you're constantly building workers, then it means that you're really effectively spending your money. So this video, there was a little trick that I wanted to show you that might make you feel like you're doing your macro correctly, but it might be a pretty major error. So first of all, we're just going to stay in my base for this, and I'm actually going to make it even faster. I'm going to double it up. I want this video to be pretty short because it's pretty easy to get the point. So what the main mistake we're going to be looking at is unit queuing your units. Basically, the idea is, if you look at my nexus here, instead of just building one probe at a time, sometimes I'll hit the queue button a bunch of times and have like a whole bunch of probes in there. So just ask yourself, how much money is taken up if you fill up all 5 of these slots? Well, 50 apiece. That's 250 minerals, right? So that's like having a secondary bank right here, where instead of spending the money, on other buildings or other units, you've got this nasty lineup right in here that is essentially banking your money. And one thing that Starcraft is the same as real life in is that when your money's in the bank, it do not gain any interest. So let's not queue units like this. Ideally, the best thing we'd want to see is that we spit out one unit at a time. So I think this is probably a problem that's native mostly to Terran. Protoss have this problem that they deal with as well. I don't think, and if you play Zerg, you can let me know, I might be wrong, but I don't really think this is even a problem with Zerg, because you can only train what you have larva for, right? So notice here I've got 4 in here. I don't even have enough to make other units. Got a little attack coming in here. It's okay. Run away, fight, fight, fight. Yay, probes win. Oh, sort of, almost. So the other thing I do in this game, I know I'm researching right now warp gate research, but I actually shouldn't even be researching that, because the thing about warp gate research is that it's kind of like you're playing Zerg, in that you can only build a certain number at a time anyway. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to try and build multiple units, queue them up, and demonstrate how much worse off it is. Let's take a look here. Now I go, oh, spend that money, getting too high. Oh, and then I warp, and I'm like, oh wait, I don't want to use warp gates, and go back. Because I'm trying to really demonstrate how to just dump your money. So there, my money just got dumped really, really low, right? Because I put a whole bunch in this gateway to be produced. So my money went down, and I might be thinking to myself, oh, look at them all of those in my nexus, all those probes. I might be thinking to myself, oh, I've got this macro thing pretty down pat, right? I'm not going too high. I was over 400 just for a little bit there. I've got an army here. I held off that attack. I might be feeling pretty good about myself. Well, what we're going to do is when we hit the 14-minute mark, we're going to actually benchmark this game to the previous one you watched, the one where I did macro correctly. And you're going to see a big, big difference. So you look at them all queued up in there. Always multiple units. What about my nexus? Multiple units. If you add this all up, it comes out to like there's 200 in there. There's, what is that, 250 in there, 450. It's another 2. So you've got, I think I've got tied up like about 800 minerals in these buildings. So wouldn't it be better, instead of having these units just sitting here in a line, to build a whole bunch of production structures? You could put down like a bunch more stuff, and you'd have way, way higher production. Now I know there's a bit of a battle that's going to happen down here. Might as well watch it, right? I mean, that's the fun part of StarCraft. Even though the point is not about the battle, It's about not queuing your units. The other thing that I'm really kind of screwed with here is that not having warp gate research, I have no idea how to reinforce my army. So I'm building this pylon, and then as soon as I put it down, I realize, oh, I actually can't even warp in units. What am I doing? But just habit. That's habit. How's my nexus here? Well, my money's still pretty low, but it's because I'm trying to produce as much army units as possible to filter them down here. Anyways, almost over, guys. Almost over. I just want to show you at the 14-minute mark that quick benchmark comparison, and then we're going to wrap this video up. And we're going to pause at 14 right here. Okay. So I went back and I looked at the last game that we saw, the one where the macro was correct, as I mentioned. So let's take a look at some numbers. First of all, let's take a look at our base. So let's count some production structures. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 production structures. And this is with me queuing units. And remember I said that if you weren't queuing those units, you'd have that money available to build other production buildings. So in the previous game, at 14 minutes, I actually had 13 production structures. 13 in my base. So obviously you can see that I'd be able to just make 13 units at a time, as opposed to having them all lined up in here. The other thing I had is let's take a look at our unit tab. I had 48 probes at that time, so a few more probes. My income, let's take a look at the income tab. My income was actually at 1240 minerals, whereas here it's only 820. My army, let's take a look at the army size. Now what I like to do when I'm just counting my army just for my own sake is I add these two numbers together. So my army here is 2500, but when I was doing the macro correctly, my army actually was just under 4,000. So almost twice the size. And I also had 2 bases, whereas here, well, I have one, but it got kind of taken out, sort of, or it will anyway. Whereas here, let's compare a little bit. Here, I only have 43 harvesters. My income's a lot lower. Yeah, I only have 4 production buildings. So just a really big difference, guys. So just keep that in mind. Just build 1 unit at a time. I know it takes a bit more effort, but you'll get used to it. It's a habit you'll just simply get into. Doing it this way for me, actually, like, I can't even see here, but loading up more than 1 in these buildings felt really awful to me, and it felt like I was breaking out, like I was breaking my own good habit. But yeah, don't build up those units. Spend that money on buildings instead. So I guess that's about it for this video. We're not even going to have a correction video for this because this is mostly a video in response to the last correct one. So I hope you enjoyed it, and don't stack your units. This is Agamemnon for SC2 Mistakes. If you like the video, please like it below. Feel free to leave any comments, and if you have any emails or questions or replays, please send them to sc2mistakes@gmail.com. Thanks guys, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.